Hey everyone on Kickstarter, how you doing? My name is Rodger and I want to show you what I've been designing and developing for the last 7.5 years. And it's been my dream since I was a kid to have a game similar to what I'm going to show you. So without further ado, welcome to Dungeon Crusade. And again, welcome. Again, my name is Rodger. I live in Elyria, Ohio, and I'm a guitarist. I build zombie props. Huge gamer. I love board games. I love PC games, 360 games, everything like that. So what I'm doing here is I created a board game called Dungeon Crusade. And quick history is, when I was 8 years old, I got the board game Dungeon for Christmas, and I absolutely loved it. If you know the game, it's a very, very simple game, for sure. But as I got older, I was looking for something, more adult-like, more, but with a dungeon and monsters and loot and weapons and armor and heroes and a big boss to kill at the end. So I never really quite found what I was looking for. So 7.5 years ago, I put into motion, I started creating Dungeon Crusade. And I actually had a working prototype, and I got a hold of Hasbro and a few companies to show it off. And I just kept it in the back burner, I never got it published. And so now at the level I'm at, I'd like to show it to you guys. And if you're like me and always searched for a dungeon game that had tons of minis and monsters that had advanced tactics, and it would give you a really good challenge, this is it, I think. And again, I welcome you here to relax and take a look at all this. First things I have to say, these miniatures here aren't going to be included with Dungeon Crusade. These are placeholders. So I'm going to show you now what is going to be included. I partnered up with Reaper Miniatures in their brand new Bones collection, and they are going to be providing the minis for Dungeon Crusade. Along the same lines, I've been speaking to a 2D artist, Gary Simpson, and he has partnered with me too. He's going to be doing all the art. Everything you see here I designed, and it's prototype. It's like concept art. Gary he has published art in other games and he is on the same track with the art direction of Dungeon Crusade as I am. We're going for a late 70s, early 80s board game look with a modern twist. So he will be doing all the art direction. So everything you see, if you think this looks good, Gary's work is phenomenal. So the finished product is just going to look sensational. And again, if you're backing this, you're already extended family. I want to hear your thoughts. Give me some ideas. This is going to be our game, not just mine, our game. And without further ado, let's talk about how many minis, first of all, are going to come in the game. I just wanted to stress this. I'm a very upfront and honest guy. I don't want to mislead anyone. So these are placeholders, but the minis that Reaper Miniatures we're going to be putting in the box, the Bones collection, they're very, very cool minis, and they fit this theme absolutely perfectly. I think even more so than these. So let's talk about the hierarchy of monsters here. These are minions. These are like your grunts, skeleton warriors, skeleton archers, orcs, zombies. And in Dungeon Crusade, there's going to be levels 1, 2, and 3 of monsters. And in each of them, there's going to be 12. So there's going to be 3 levels, so 12 times 3. So what is that, 36? So there's going to be 36 minions in the game. I believe I wanted to pack even more, but for cost, there's going to be 36 minions. And again, level 1, 2, and 3. Next up, there's going to be champions. There's going to be 3 champions in the game, level 1, 2, and 3. And what champions do, they buff the minions. So when you're playing and these champions start coming out, they're going to give like stat bonuses to the minions. So your strategy wouldn't be to take out the champions, so they start buffing them. Next up are guardians. These are like mid-sized bosses, and right now there's 2 guardians in the game, and these are like the bigger figures, and they're very tough, a lot of hit points, and they got some pretty nasty tactics that I came up with them. And finally, I put the skulls here to show difficulty, are lords, and there's going to be 1 lord in the game, and he is like usually at the end of the game, that's who you're going to try to kill, and you're going to have to come over here to the village with your hard-earned goldens, buy some like legendary and epic items to equip your heroes with. let's go over here. Let's talk about what heroes you're going to get. You're going to get 6 heroes are at the start. I have many ideas planned for this, expansions and a few more heroes. And again, I want you to be part of the process and coming up with stuff. You know, this isn't just my game, it's going to be our game. So I want to hear your thoughts. 6 classes: warrior, there's going to be a rogue, a barbarian, an archer, a cleric, and finally the wizard. So those are going to be the 6 that comprise your heroes in the game. So already you can see there's going to be 6 heroes. You're going to have 36 minions, 3 champions, 2 guardians, and 1 lord. And I'll tell you, if again, I don't know how this is going to be received. If it's received well and it goes over its goal, so let's put more minis in the game. That's the way I see it. I'm all about this game, so you know, the more we put in, let's put more minions, maybe a few more champions, another guardian. I want you to have a giant box of minis and a really fun game to enjoy for years. We're going to touch on a few things. I'm going to be updating some videos. You can look on YouTube. A lot of the stuff on YouTube is older, but the later videos are sharp. You know, it's like more of a honed game and what I'm trying to convey with this. Let's start with this real quick. Is when you start a game at Dungeon Crusade, you're going to be on, you start with a siege tile. All these tiles, you reveal these tiles as you're playing. So it's not set up like this at all. But at the outset of a game of Dungeon Crusade, this is how it starts. You're at this is called a siege tile. And let's grab a warrior, a barbarian, an archer, and how about a wizard? So and you control, again, this is built from the ground up to be a solo game. But it converts very nicely to a 2-player game. Someone controls the heroes, the other person controls the monsters. So you could put more players in, but I wanted this to be for us solo gamers who want, you know, a game to play by yourself and have some good AI that's going to really challenge you. So this is the siege tile, and if you ever watched a good action movie, this is what I wanted to try to replicate with Dungeon Crusade. As you can see, the doors have been broken down, and the heroes are starting their crusade in this dungeon. So right off the bat, you're in the siege phase, and this only happens right at the beginning. So right at the start, you're into combat, and that's going to be the start of the game. And again, I'm going to come back with other videos, and I'm going to detail each and every aspect so you guys see, you know, what you're getting behind, and you know, insist on seeing every aspect of this game. And I'm an update freak. I'll be updating you all the time and sharing ideas and getting your thoughts. So that is the siege phase, big action part. Then after that, we go to the normal round order. And in Dungeon Crusade, you're going to move, you explore. That's when you flip over tiles. Could be possibly an encounter that could happen. Usually it's something bad, but not very often this happens. It's very tastefully done in Dungeon Crusade. And then combat, when you fight the monsters, and then the village. And I want to touch on the village, if anything. And this is placeholder. I had to borrow this from another game, but there's going to be gold when you kill the monsters. You put your hand in a bag, pull out, and that's what you get. So when you're done, we're going to do this real quick. Let's grab a few of these. Let's say that we killed a few monsters, and there's also a treasure token in here. If you're lucky enough to pull it, you can have a free treasure card. So let's just say we got, what is that? 900 gold. And let's take a few monsters over here, because they have XP with them. So you come over here to the village, and again, it's after you do combat, you come over to the village. And the village is where you get your weapons, you can refresh your heroes. You can do a lot of things in the village. First thing that you do is, depending on how many monsters you brought in, say we brought in 4 monsters, the merchant here would reveal that many items. I put these out to show you. At the start of Dungeon Crusade, there's no items out. So there's also a bounty board. When you get here, what you do is you roll a die, an 8-sided die, and you look, so 7. So the village will pay you 100 gold per elemental that you bring in. And again, this will be touched on later in other videos. So for right now, there's a merchant, and he sells torches to illuminate dark places of the dungeon. We'll get to that. And then he sells different kinds of weapons and armor, healing potions. But to a tip of the hat of World of Warcraft, there's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. And you equip your heroes with these different things. So you're allowed to have one piece of armor and one weapon at a time, and then you could have like a healing potion in your backpack. Moving right down, the temple, you can buy holy revivals. And this, if your hero goes down, you can revive him. There's only a few holy revivals in the game. So you can buy those for 700 gold. Also, you're allowed to do this once per turn. There's a healing fountain. You roll a d4, and your party is healed by that much. That's 300. And then there's blessings. Blessings are revealed after you kill your first monster, and you can decide when to reveal your blessing. So it's when you go back into fight, and after you kill your first monster, you can reveal this. And so what it is like this one, for instance. This is called Recharge, and you flip over one of your special or Crusader abilities. And again, in later videos we'll get to that. This is just kind of an overview. The big thing here is the academy. When your heroes start out, they're level 1, and they only start with one basic ability. Again, these are playtest cards, so it's not going to be, this is not the final product. This is just for playtesting. But when you start out, all you have is one basic ability. So what you do is you trade in your monsters, and they have, as you see, there's worth XP, and you look here at the chart, and you can buy other ones with your XP. So, 2 XP will get you one basic ability, 4 will get you a special, and 6 will get you a Crusader ability. So that's what the academy is. This is where you strengthen your hero, you buy him more powers, more special attacks and that. Level them up, I guess you could say. And yes, heroes go up to level 3, level 1, 2, and 3. Finally, over here, there's the Allies realm. And this is going to be, there's going to be 3 ally figures, I forgot to mention. So besides all them, there's 3 ally figures. They're not as strong as your heroes, but they're good muscle to take in if you're going to fight the boss or what have you. So you can buy them for 5 XP plus 300 gold. And actually, lastly, here is the inn. When you use a Crusader ability or a special ability, you have to flip it over. What the inn does, if you pay 100 per hero, some of these numbers might change, that what you could do is you flip those back over to use again in combat. For right now, I just wanted to show you this, and I'm going to do more in-depth videos showing you more about Dungeon Crusade. We're going to talk about the light and dark system and how, like light rooms, as you see, these are kind of safe areas, while over here, dark areas give stat bonuses to monsters. Like monsters regain 1 hit point at the end of combat if they're in here. And we'll talk more, too, about monster tactics. I designed these tactics to give you a real challenge. For instance, this is a Guardian, and there's going to be 4 difficulty levels in Dungeon Crusade: Recruit, Normal, Heroic, and Legendary. And, some of the tactics here, you're going to roll, I call it the S die. When this ogre is going to attack, you roll the S die, and depending on what comes up in the S die, he could do extra damage to adjacent heroes. Some of these monsters have a thing called hatred, and what they do is they will go after one of your heroes. They have a certain vengeance for one of the heroes, so it's not just, the skeleton warrior is going to go after the closest hero. Sometimes that might be the case, but they're going to actually target, like this one will target a cleric first, and then he has hatred, and if you roll, he could actually go after that cleric even at the end of his turn one time. So there's so much to discuss about Dungeon Crusade. Encounters. This is the whole light and dark system. As dark areas are revealed in the dungeon, this is going to get moved down. And what it does, it simulates that the dungeon's growing more evil, more darker, and you're more likely to get an encounter, while the forces of light force it to go up. So the light is fighting the dark, but then, vice versa. And for an example, if you do get a encounter card, it's something like this: Explosion. And whoever picked this card, any 3 heroes adjacent to him, you have to roll a d4 and you take that damage. And so, you're always, faced with a possible encounter. And there's going to be tons of encounters in this game. I think this is all I wanted to show you. Again, my name is Rodger Deering, and thank you for your time for looking at all this. And in closing, a couple things. This is our game. You're investing in this, and so this is going to be our game. So in the future, I have a lot of ideas planned for expansions and a few extra heroes, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Again, this is concept art. I designed everything you see here. So Gary Simpson will be doing all of the art direction. Everything will have full color portraits. It's just, he's kind of makes the finished game. And Reaper Miniatures, a big thanks to them. They're going to be providing the Bones collection. So again, there's going to be 3 allies, 6 heroes, 36 minions included with Dungeon Crusade, 3 champions, 2 guardians, and 1 lord. So much else to talk about. We have to talk about a dark lair. That's when you get to the main room to kill the big, whatever your objective is usually in a dark lair. I'm thinking 12 light tiles, 12 dark tiles in Dungeon Crusade. So there's so much more to talk about, but this is enough for now to whet your appetite. And again, thank you very much. I hope you all have a good day. And please leave comments, suggestions. I'd love to hear from people. So again, I will talk to you soon, and thanks for your time.